I maintain a few contacts in other Dunmer settlements across Tamriel. Most hail from House Redoran, but there are a few from other houses. Most of my contacts live leagues away from Solstein. Sending the occasional message back and forth is all we can manage, and sometimes takes months or more to arrive. However, any information we can glean in times like this, I consider vital to House Redoran's survival. Don't worry. You can trust Geldis. He's been with us for a long time. Traitors, the lot of them. Their collaboration with the Empire may have given them unrivaled political and economic strength, but their hearts weren't with the Dunmer people. Lalu deserved every bit of hatred they received once the Empire released its grasp on Morrowind. Having past ties to the Empire immediately turned them into the scapegoat for the Dunmer people's suffering. They had welcomed the Empire with open arms and benefited from it. When everything was said and done, they were no longer recognized as a great house and were dismissed from the Council. During the Oblivion Crisis, gates to the Plane of Oblivion opened all over Morrowind. The Empire pulled most of its forces out of Morrowind to deal with the gates in their own homeland, leaving us virtually defenseless. We had no standing army at the time, just uncoordinated pockets of resistance. House Redoran took charge and was slowly able to build an army. It took years, but it became a force to be reckoned with. When the Argonians invaded years later, House Redoran's army was able to prevent them from sweeping across all of Morrowind. It would be fair to say that House Redoran literally saved the Dunmer people from destruction. Don't worry, you can trust Geldis. He's been with us for a long time.
If you're looking for supplies, talk.
Come on in. Just stoke the fire. Take a seat and get the cold out. The mine's open, people are buying drinks, and I'm making money again. Just like old times. How do you think? It's a blessing. I've got regular paying customers again. Thirsty workers at the end of the day, and more coin than I can count. Well, well, Adril's got himself a spy, does he? Azura knows he needs all the help he can get. He's been chasing the Ulins for years now. No, I just think he's going about this the wrong way. Actually, I do. If you want to catch those slippery slaughterfish, you need to let them come to you. There's an Ulin ancestral tomb near the temple. Someone's been leaving ash yam offerings on the altar inside. If you were to wait inside for whomever that is, I'm betting they'll have some of the answers you're looking for. What makes you think I haven't? Anytime Adril and the Redoran Guard made a move, the Ulins must have been one step ahead and didn't show up. You can thank me if it works. Until then, I'd head to the tomb and wait until your visitor shows up. When the Dunmer is laid to rest, the body is burned and returned to the ashen soil. Since the ash yam is born of the very same soil, it represents rebirth and renewal, the fact that life ends and begins anew. Back in 95, Vila Ulin came to Raven Rock with a plan to take over our town. The Fetcher thought he could stir up the locals and use them against the Redoran Guard, and then murder Consular Morvain when we weren't looking. He arrived alone, but spread enough coin around to start changing people's minds. Half a bloody town joined his side. Can you believe that? He underestimated the Redaring Guard. They were organized and brought a swift end to the coup. Vila tried to run, but he was caught by Captain Veleth himself. Vila Ulan was executed a short time later, and his remains placed in the Ulan ancestral tomb. Safe travels, Outlander.
If you witness suspicious activity, report it to Captain Veleth immediately.
Excuse me. I didn't realize there was anyone else here. I presume the same thing you're doing, leaving an offering for the departed. Forgive my surprise. It's just that I wouldn't expect that sort of behavior from someone who isn't Dunmer. Since there aren't any Ulans left on this island, I've taken it upon myself to leave the traditional offering in their stead. What do you mean? I thought I was clear. I'm simply honoring a fellow departed Dunmer. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'd like to meditate a bit. Please, I don't wish to be disturbed while I'm meditating. Please, I don't wish to be disturbed while I'm meditating.
Can I help you?
I hope Geldis proved useful. Have you made any progress? Telesu. Are you sure? So Geldis's plan worked, eh? Every time we tried it, no one would ever show up. If Telesu's involved in any sort of plot to harm Councillor Morvain, I'm going to need hard evidence to prove it. I'm not kicking down anyone's door until I have solid evidence in hand. If you're wrong about Telesu, things would quickly go downhill around here, and the real culprits might slip away. I can't afford for that to happen. If you have evidence, and it places your life in peril, I would expect you to do whatever you must to keep yourself alive.
May I have a word with you?
Here, this key should open the front door of the manor in case they've locked it. Good luck.
About our food stores. Jalin can only carry so much on each journey, and I'm afraid we might run out.
I'll speak with Garen and see if we can't increase the crop production this season. Sorry, Sindiri. I fear we'll be feasting on ash yams a bit more often this year.
Villa Ulen wasn't the first Ulen to live in Ravenrock. His father, Valen Ulen, was one of the first Dunmer to settle here. Unlike his son, Villa, Valen was a good man. He contributed to the community and was quite respected. When Valen died, his family provided the funds to construct the tomb. The Ulen family being a part of House Lalu didn't matter. It's Dunmer's tradition for the ashes of the deceased to be placed in an ancestral tomb. Valen Ulen and his son's remains were both laid to rest there because that's what he'd requested. Telesu is wife to the family patriarch Vendel. They have a single child, a daughter named Miri. They arrived here 10 years ago and have been nothing but a benefit to Ravenrock ever since. They're quite wealthy, and they've been quite generous by sharing their fortune with the community. They've contributed coin, food, supplies, even helped repair a few of the buildings in town with their own hands. People have mentioned it's a bit odd about how close in age Mary appears to be to her father, but that's hardly a cause for alarm.
Of course, Sindiri.
Just make sure you find solid evidence. If I accuse them without it, I'll be the laughing stock of the colony. Be careful.
I'll speak with Garen
The
and see if we
Severans have
can't increase
betrayed
the
us,
crop production this
and they'll
season.
be well armed.
Sorry, Sindiri. I fear we'll be feasting on ash yams a bit more often this year.
You've brought Ravenrock back from the brink, traveler. I don't know how to thank you.
Traveling beyond the
My
bulwark will be
husband is
much
second
safer as a
counselor,
result of
so
your
I certainly
victory
have
at
the
Fort
means to
Frostmourne.
reward you if you find my
Many
folio.
thanks.
Damn ash.
You think you have it bad. Try walking the bulwark at night.